Yeah, hello once again. Thank you very much for joining me. We are still in the lockdown now. By executive instrument, the president has extended the restriction on movement in some regions for 1 week, an extra 1 week, and also banning public gatherings for an extra 2 weeks. Yeah, so that means it's very prudent that these measures are taken, because looking at how our numbers are rising, really we need drastic measures in place to ensure that we curtail and then contain the surge as well. But in any case, what we should avoid is fear. God did not give us the spirit of fear. He gave us the spirit of boldness and of sound mind. You get it? So we shouldn't be perturbed, because fear is a weapon of the enemy, which he uses to distract us. And in the wake of this pandemic, fear is one of the weapons the devil is using. We should get rid of that. So today we're just going to continue with our reading. As I said, we might as well use the period that we have to read, and I'm going to read with you. So we started this book. It says Heaven and Hell, 1000-1, which is said was written by Reverend Park Yong-ju. We started with his experience, yes, what happened to him, and when he got to heaven, God instructed that he should be taken around on a tour to heaven and hell, and when he's done, he can leave. So today we're going to continue, yes, with the next episode. So as usual, lend me your ears and let's read. The angels first took me to 3 different places in heaven. In the first place, I saw little children living together. The second place was where the adults lived. The third place was where the souls had barely made it to heaven. Even though they made it to heaven, they had made it shamefully. Many people had asked me how old the little children were. They appeared like children in kindergarten. They were not the little boys or girls we would identify them by gender. Each child had their own angel to accompany them. In heaven, most of the souls have their own individual home. John 14:2. However, there were some who did not have homes. I will explain this later. Moreover, the children did not have their own individual homes either. I asked, the children are also souls. Why do they not have their own homes? The angel replied, just as the people on earth requires materials to build their homes, we in heaven also needs materials to build here. When a person serves the church and others faithfully unto the Lord, those deeds will become materials for a person's home in heaven. When the materials are provided, the angel assigned to build a saint home will go to work on constructing it. The children who are below the accountability age have not built up any materials to build a home. In other words, they did not have the time or chance to earn their rewards or materials. This is why they do not have their homes. I continued with my questions. What shall I do on earth to provide more materials for my home? The angels replied, there are 7 things people must do to build up their materials to build their homes. The first is the accumulation of worship and praise to God. The second is their time spent reading the Bible. Third, their time spent praying. Fourth, their time spent evangelizing to people. Fifth, one's offerings to the Lord. Sixth, their obedient tithes to God. Lastly, their time spent serving the church in any way. There are the deeds of works of obedience in which one accumulates materials for their heavenly home. If one is lacking in these areas, they will have no materials to build their home. There were numerous people in heaven without homes. Many who did not have homes were actually pastors, deacons, deaconesses, elders, etc. I asked out of curiosity, "Where do the children live then?" The angels replied, "They live here." As I looked around, they were gathered throughout the garden of flowers. The garden of flowers was so beautiful, and the fragrance was out of this world, the scene beyond what I could describe with my words. The second place was for faithful adults. There is a difference between salvation and rewards. This place had so many homes. The homes were built with beautiful gems and rare stones. Some of the homes were as high as highest skyscrapers on earth. Those people who had faithfully served the Lord while living on earth had their homes built with beautiful gems and rare stones. In this particular place, all the people looked around the age of 20 to 30 years old. There were no men or women with regards to gender. There are no sick, old or lame people. I once knew an elder named "Oh, I'm young." He had died at the age of 65 years old. He was a very short man, as tall as second graders in elementary school. He had suffered from a rare disease called rickets. However, when it came to the Bible, he was a PhD. He had written many commentaries. I met him in heaven, and there he was tall and handsome. He was no longer sick, but healthy. Heaven is a very wonderful place. I am so full of expectations. Please believe what I'm saying, beloved people. The third place was for those who were shamefully saved. 1 Corinthians 3:15. This particular village was enormous in size, several times bigger than the second place, where the homes were made of gems and rare stones. I arrived at this place at great speed, riding a golden chariot. It was very far from the other beautiful places I saw in heaven. I asked the angel, "I see great wilderness and fields. Why do I not see homes?" The angels replied, "What you are seeing are homes." I saw huge wild flat houses, which reminded me of a large chicken coop or some type of warehouse. These homes were not glorious but shabby. This village and homes were for the souls who were shamefully saved. There were numerous large-sized, shabby-looking homes. This village is several times bigger than the place where rewarded souls reside. The angel said, "Do you see the two large homes, one to your right and one to your left?" I answered, "Yes, I do see them." The angel said that he wanted to show me those two houses specifically. He said the right home is for those who were pastors on the earth. The left home is for those who were elders on the earth. As we arrived at the front of the two homes, I noticed they were humongous. My jaw dropped when we opened the door and entered. My first impression was chicken coop. Instead of thousands of chickens living in their coop, I saw souls. The angels advised me to observe very carefully because I would recognize some famous pastors from history. It was true, I recognized many pastors from history. I specifically picked out one pastor and asked the angel, "I know that Korean pastor. I know how famous he was and the work he had done for the Lord. Why is he here? I do not understand." The angel answered, "He never provided any building materials for his home. This is why he is living in community home." I asked out of curiosity, "How did this happen? Why did he not have any materials?" The angel answered, "While he was a pastor performing the functions of as a pastor, he had loved to be complimented by the people. He had loved to be honored. He had loved to be served. That was no sacrifice and servitude on his part. This particular pastor was greatly honored in Korea and is an icon within the Korean Christian history. But he had no reward. You pastors out there, please listen. You have to lead people to more than just Sunday morning services. You must visit them in their homes. You must take care of the poor, the lame and old. The pastors who have served without sacrificing their lives and loved to be honored have no reward in heaven. Matthew 23:5-12. After I had witnessed the scenes in heaven, and after I had come back to the earth, I immediately gave all of my possessions away, including my 5 luxury vehicles. Our life is but a moment. In the Bible, the average life is about 70 to 80 years old. But it is only God who knows when a person will die. Anyone can die before the age of 70 or 80 years old. I had decided to give everything away, even my clothes. The people I saw had received salvation in shame. They were pastors, elders, deacons, and lay believers. There were multitudes of elders and deacons in this flat, shabby home. But of course, it was much better than hell. However, why would anyone want to enter heaven in such a way? I will not end up in that shameful place. Their clothes were even shabby. Okay, folks, it's been a great pleasure having to read with you, and I hope you were blessed with it. I also am blessed with it. So every bit of the words that is coming from this particular message, we should treat it seriously, because it is something that is out there, something that is there, something that we should expect to happen. And our lives will never be the same. We pray for God's strength and His might to be with us in this time, in this era, so that we can stand for Him alone. Meanwhile, don't forget to stay safe, stay indoors, don't go anywhere. Our case now is around 566, more to come, that is what we perceive. So we must adhere to all the measures put in place by government and adhere to precautionary measures also by health experts. God bless you. My name is Vimpel Mentor Philemon. You have a nice day. Bye bye. We'll meet same time tomorrow with the next episode.